Hello and welcome back to the Mysterious Thief Forget-Me-Not. I think we're gonna get a POV change today, but let's find out. Miss Lebedev. As I watch Forget-Me-Not vanish into the night, I hear the concerned voice of Detective O'Malley coming from behind me. Turning around, I see them hopping across the rooftops as fast as they can, keeping surprisingly good balance.
Miss Lebedev. Are you alright? You're not hurt, are you?
No, not at all.
That's good.
And the jewel is safe and sound as well, see? I delicately hold up the black swan that hangs from my neck to the detective, confirming to them that it remains in perfect condition.
Oh, yes, the jewel. Right. Anyways, I imagine you've had quite enough of being up here.
They take some time to catch their breath, then hold out their hand, offering it to me.
Let's get off these rooftops and head back to the museum.
Of course. I grab hold of them, and we make our way down to the streets below, walking back to the museum with careful yet hasty steps. Chapter 2. Irina. Wilkinson Museum of Art and History, May 14th, 11:35 p.m. Re-entering the museum, I see the state of disarray it was left in by Forget-Me-Not's trick. The fans and vents still running wild due to the thief's hijacking, blowing air all around the room. Along with countless feathers scattered all about the floor, many of which landed on my colleagues who are brushing them off themselves. It's quite a mess in here, isn't it?
You could say that again. That thief really did a number this time. It's going to take hours to clean everything up at this rate. Again?
Again?
You don't want to know, trust me.
Irina's back. The detective and I look at where that outburst came from, and we see a small group of my fellow dancers running towards us. Others around the hall see the commotion and join in, despite being in the middle of on-scene interrogation. Irina, you're safe! Are you alright, Irina? I'm sorry I worried everyone so much. But I'm back now. As everyone huddles around me, letting out their pent-up worry, I see someone else running towards me from the eastern wall with even more vigor.
Inka!
My uncle, looking pale and shaken up, wraps his arms around me in the biggest hug he's ever given me. I wrap mine around him in return, being just as happy to see him as he is to see me.
You have no idea how worried I was about you. Are you hurt? Did that thief do anything to you?
It's all right, Uncle. I'm fine, see? Are you all right, though? You look absolutely pale.
I thought I was going to faint. One moment you're next to me, then as soon as the feathers let up, you were gone. I was this close to knocking some sense into that young man for putting you through this before you walked in.
I look to where my uncle is pointing, only to find Mr. Wilkinson sulking in the corner where we stood before the heist. Amidst our joyous reunion, Detective O'Malley clears their throat and addresses us directly.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I'd like Miss Lebedev to come with us to the precinct for some questioning.
Uncle turns around to the detective, his face of glee quickly changing to a stern glare.
She has been through so much already, and yet you ask her to go to the precinct immediately?
I know, and I deeply apologize, but we do need your niece's statement. She's come the closest to the thief out of anyone so far, so we'd like any information she can give us.
Is that all right, Miss Lebedev?
Yes, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind at all.
But Inka...
Don't worry, Uncle. I'll be fine. I look back at the detective after consoling my uncle. Would it be alright if my uncle came along? I think we'd feel much more at ease if the two of us were together.
Not at all, I don't mind. We need to ask for his testimony as well, so that works out for us.
That's perfect, thank you. Satisfied with the agreement, Detective O'Malley makes their way towards Chief Harrison, most likely to relay that information to him. Meanwhile, I bring my attention back to Uncle, who is looking less pale than before. Is this all right, Uncle?
I suppose that it is. However, are you going to be all right? I imagine you're absolutely exhausted after tonight.
A little. But no worries, I can handle an hour or so of giving my testimony to the detective. And then we can return to the hotel with everyone else in peace. Uncle simply shakes his head, clearly still worried about my well-being as he straightens his back.
Fair enough. Just don't push yourself too hard, Inca.
Uncle begins to walk towards the detective-in-chief, who are talking about the case in detail to one another. Before I join them, I turn back around to the others, who are dragged back into giving testimony by the officers in the hall. I'll be back soon, everyone. We'll hold down the fort for you, Irina. See you back at the hotel. Tell us everything that happened later, all right? Of course. Take care. After waving goodbye to everyone, I start walking over to Uncle and the rest who have been waiting for me this entire time. My apologies for the wait. Shall we get going?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's make tracks back to the precinct. My apologies, but we'll be using a patrol car to drive back to the station, so it might be a bit cramped in the back. Not to worry, we can manage. Very well, let's head out before it gets even later. I was about to say that the Y Max isn't here, but then again the jewel wasn't his, like it belongs to the ballet company, so... As our group starts to make our way out of the museum, my fatigue starts to catch up to me. Hoping to calm my nerves, I slide my fingers into my right ring finger, but stop in place when I feel it oddly bare. Oh no, where is my ring? It was right here. Did I drop it somewhere, or... I start to panic, looking around the hall feverishly from the entryway to try and catch a glimpse of it shining under the lights by chance. In the midst of my panicking, I hear Uncle calling me. Inca, is everything all right?
Yes, Uncle. I'll be right there. I know I had it with me. Oh, I hope I didn't lose it. I tried to take my mind off of it, catching up with the others outside in the parking lot. I wonder, does Desiree have it maybe? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep in sync, everyone. Despite how eccentric the previous night was, the next day goes on like any other. Getting up and eating breakfast together, going over our schedules for the day, and then practicing our scenes to maintain the level of polish that's expected of us. But in the middle of afternoon practice, I suddenly feel a wave of exhaustion hit me as we worked through the scenes on the lake. Everyone suddenly freezes and looks at me, all clearly shocked by my loud and invasive yawn. Wow. Our instructor, on the other hand, lets out an audible sigh as she turns off the music.
Irina, are you all right? This is the third time you've yawned this scene alone, and they're getting worse.
Sorry, I'll try to hold it back next time.
You said the same thing a few minutes ago.
I can feel my face turning bright red, making me avert my gaze from her. However, Brianna, placing her hand on my shoulder with a gentle nod, speaks up. Hey, Teach, maybe we should take a break? We're all kinda tired because of that night at the museum. Everyone in the room nods in agreement, some even letting out yawns they've also been trying to hold in. Our instructor goes silent as she thinks to herself.
Very well. Everyone, take about 20 minutes to wake yourselves up. Once you're all good, we'll start right from the top of scene 12.
Yes, ma'am. On cue, everyone around me splits up into their own little groups, eager to take advantage of the break. Some find places to sit and relax, while others grab their bags to pull out snacks they've been saving for a moment like this. Before she joins the others, I call out to Brianna. Brianna, thank you for that.
Hey, think nothing of it.
Now go get yourself a coffee or something, otherwise we're gonna be dancing to Sleeping Beauty instead. Very funny. Brianna runs over to the other wall and makes herself comfortable on one of the vacant seats. Just as I'm about to find my own spot to relax, I feel someone tapping my shoulder. Turning around, I see Damien, who looks quite eager to have my attention. Hello, Damien. Is something the matter?
No, not at all. I just came to check up on you.
Thank you for the concern, but you don't need to worry. I'm just a little sleepy, that's all.
Yeah, I heard the interrogation took longer than it was supposed to. Not surprised to see you absolutely drained after that. Even more so than usual.
I'm caught off guard by a surprisingly blunt remark. Do I seem tired normally? Damien looks just as surprised by my response, if not more so.
Okay, that came out wrong. What I meant was... No, wait, what did I mean?
As he starts to stammer and his face gets redder from embarrassment, I let out a small chuckle. It's all right, I know you mean well. Hearing me say that must have lifted the heaviest weights imaginable off his shoulders as he lets out an incredible sigh of relief.
Sorry.
Damien. The somewhat awkward air between us is interrupted by someone calling from the left side of the room. We both turn, and leaned against the mirrors is Magdalena herself. Irina, is he being too pushy again? No, he's fine.
She looks like she wants to lecture me again.
Maybe it'd be best to go to her sooner rather than later. Sulking his shoulders a bit, he makes his way over to Magda, who looks more than ready to give him an earful. He's sweet, I'll give him that. As everyone makes themselves at home, I'm finally able to take some time for myself. Maybe Brianna was right. A coffee could help. There should be some left in the lounge I can heat up. Okay, I was wondering if we're gonna look around. Okay, Magda and Damien. I look back to where Magda and Damien are standing as Magda starts giving the poor man another lecture. Damien Emil Petrov, when will you learn to think before you speak?
I'm getting better. Kinda.
Even from here, I can hear the deep sigh she just let out. Kinda getting better isn't gonna help get rid of those rumors that have been circling about you.
You know those aren't true at all.
Sorry. I know, but they don't. Which is why you have to put in the effort to make sure you don't say anything that could be used against you. She gives him a small pat on the head, complimented by a peck on the lips. Which is also why I'm working my butt off to help get things back to normal before the trip ends. For a brief moment, they give each other a soft smile, followed by Magda tugging on his cheek with a pout. Understand?
Yes, Magda.
That's good. Now go sit down before practice starts up again, okay? Rubbing his cheek, now that it's free from Magda's grasp, Damien makes his way to the opposite corner and finds himself a place to sit on the benches. Afterwards, Magda lets out a huge sigh, releasing the tension in her shoulders and leaning against the mirror. Despite how much Magda nags him, those two are still inseparable even after 5 years of being together.
Being together and working together. Huh. I assume.
Seeing Magda on her own, I make my way over to her to give her a bit of company. Another day, another lecture? Magda, who had been looking over at Damien this whole time, turns to me after hearing my voice. Oh, Irina.
You know how it is with him.
Means well, but always manages to say the most blunt thing in any situation. He really can be too laid back sometimes, I swear. A perfect fit for you though, I'd say, considering how by the book you are with him.
Her stoic face quickly changes to being surprised before the smallest smile appears in its place.
Chuckling to herself, she leans her back against the mirror, clearly more relaxed than earlier.
I suppose you're right about that. That man drives me crazy sometimes, but I guess that's also why I love him.
How are you doing, by the way?
I heard last night was rough on you.
I'm alright, just got less sleep than I would have hoped. What about you?
I'm fine.
Got nagged by the cops more than the others because I picked who got the real jewel, but that's to be expected.
Her mentioning last night's incident makes me think back to my talk with that thief.
The reasons I was picked to hold the real jewel.
I turn back to Magda, hoping she can answer the question that's been nagging me since then.
Magda?
Yes?
While we're on the subject, why did you choose me?
Huh?
What do you mean?
I picked you because you were the best choice.
Why? Because I'm the tallest?
Seeing her face immediately change to a look of disappointment makes me feel like I said the wrong thing. Oi. Tell me, what does the Black Swan represent?
It's meant to honor Vera, its first owner. And it shows that whoever's given it is skilled enough to be seen as a worthy inheritor. But what does it have to do with why you chose me?
Easy. You said it yourself. It shows whoever holds it is incredibly skilled. And as the current Prima, I can't see anyone more worthy to even temporarily have that honor than you, Irina.
But that was just for last night, not for an actual performance.
Even still. I couldn't bring myself to give it to someone who I wouldn't trust in that position, even considering the circumstances. That's my reasoning, and I'm sticking with it. I try to say something in response, but I'm left just blinking at her after such an honest answer. Sorry, was that too much?
No, I'm just surprised is all.
Thank you, Magda. That's really sweet. You're welcome, Irina. Although I have a question for you in return.
Sure thing. What is it?
How much sleep did you get? I instinctively avert my eyes, but I can still see her unyielding glare from the reflection in the mirror. Irina, do I have to lecture you too?
No, it's okay. It's fine. I just need to get a coffee.
Well then, don't let me stop you any longer. Go on, shoo. As Magda tries to push me towards the door, I wriggle my way out of her grasp.
I'm going.
In a second. Oh. She goes back to leaning against the mirrors, though now her gaze is equally divided between Damien, who is still sitting in the corner, and myself.
I feel like I'm being babysat.
Yeah. Oh, can we talk to her again? I walk back over to Magda, who I can tell is just about ready to lecture me.
Don't give me that look. I just came over to ask if you wanted anything while I was in the lounge.
Thank you, but I'm alright.
I already drank a full cup of coffee during breakfast. I'm good for another few hours. You mean that concoction of milk and sugar you had earlier?
Listen,
Whatever coffee they use in the theater is just too bitter. But don't you think 3 milks and sugars is a bit much, even for you? I'll admit it was a bit. But the beans they use are so bitter, I felt my blood pressure go up just from a single sip. Magda taps her foot a bit, thinking for a brief moment, before a big smile appears on her face. When we finally have some free time, we should go out and see what the city has to offer. There's definitely got to be some local bars or cafes in the area that are worth checking out.
Well, I wonder.
What do you say? That sounds like fun. I'm sure we could get quite a few of us together to tour the city.
Right?
But until then, let's work our butts off so we can really relax. Of course.
Okay, then the trio on the bench.
Irina. Sitting on one of the benches against the wall are the trio of Emilia, Adriana and Alex, the first waving at me energetically. I walk over to them, waving back with a chuckle. Did you need something from me? Nope, we just wanted to chat. Yeah, you came back to the hotel so late that we never got to talk about last night. Oh, right. I did promise I'd tell you about the incident, huh? You can tell us now. No pressure or anything, though. I don't mind. The trio seems absolutely giddy at my answer as they scooch over to make me some room on the bench. I take my seat and get comfortable, turning to face them. Not a lot happened, but I can at least tell you this much. I recount everything that happened for them. Being carried across the rooftops, the thief letting me keep the jewel, and Detective O'Malley catching up to bring me back to the museum.
Dang, no wonder you were so tired last night. Though I'm surprised at how boring your talk with the thief was.
Yeah, and all those Phantom Thief stories, something super romantic would happen. But nada. How plain can you get? Well, I did leave out one thing from my story. The dip. If I had mentioned that, there's no way I'd be able to leave and get my coffee before break ends. Although I think Adriana notices something seems off as she suddenly speaks up among the chattering. You sure you said everything that happened? That I did. Alright, I'm not gonna press you on it. She leans her back against the wall, and as the others settle down, I stand up from my seat. I'm gonna go get myself a coffee now. Do any of you want anything? The three of them shake their heads with little nods, almost in tandem with one another.
You go wake yourself up then, or Brianna won't be able to save you from teacher's classic disappointed gaze again.
I can bet you that if she had that, she'd be burning a hole right through your head right about now. With a giggle, I wave by and walk away, letting them take that space on the bench back for themselves.
Okay.
So she's being a little obvious, is she? Okay, let's leave the room. Am I ready to head out?
Yeah, sure.
I fight off another yawn that's trying to creep up on me, shaking my head a little as I open the practice room door. Come on, me. We can last a little longer to get something to drink.
I like that the game is letting us, making sure we're ready and we didn't miss anything. Like some other games might need that as well. Okay.
The lounge is just up ahead. If the carafe is empty, I'll have to make do with one of the pouches of instant coffee. Although they'll only really last me a couple hours at most, so... Oof. In the middle of my indecisiveness, I lose track of where I'm going, accidentally bumping into one of the security guards walking through the hall.
Security guards, eh?
I'm sorry. I wasn't looking where I was going and...
No, think nothing of it. I should apologize for being in your way.
With a nod and a salute, the officer continues their trek down to the other end of the hall. The number of security guards has been going up as of late. Is it because of that thief, or maybe...
Inka.
As I'm thinking to myself once again, I hear someone calling from the opposite end of the hall. Turning around, I see it's my uncle, walking towards me with a face full of glee. Uncle Abram.
I see you're on break right now.
Everyone was so exhausted that we decided to have one early. Where have you been, though? Practice has been going on for quite a while. Uncle looks down at his watch upon hearing that, surprised at what time it is.
So it has. My apologies for that. I had to sit down with the director of the theatre and the theatre owners for a meeting.
A meeting? What for?
It's about our stay in the city. Because of that heist nonsense, the police is requesting we stay a while longer to assist in their investigation. So we discussed it with the theatre owners, and they've given us permission to stay and to perform a while longer.
But is that not going to disrupt the last leg of the tour?
To my surprise, my uncle lets out a loud chuckle. Not at all. The director and I actually had planned to pick a location to stay at longer for you all to relax and sightsee. Considering the exhibit, we decided that it was going to be this city long before the incident with that thief happened. It just works out well that we can continue to perform here to boot.
That's wonderful. I bet the others will have at least 10 places picked to check out once they hear the news. Is there anywhere you want to see together? Interrupting me once again is a loud and sudden yawn. My uncle is silent at first, simply staring at me in awe before I speak up. Sorry.
Are you all right, Inka? I haven't heard you yawn that loudly in a very long time.
I didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Was it because of the interrogation? I'm sorry I kept us at the station for so long. I only wanted to make sure they wouldn't ask you any absurd questions and...
No, Uncle, you're fine. It's not you. I just ended up staying up a bit late afterwards is all.
Whatever for?
My gaze shifts away from his, wanting an out of this conversation. But he simply places a hand on my shoulder and gives me a warm smile, speaking to me in a soft tone.
Don't worry, I'm only concerned. You can be honest with me.
Thank you. I stayed up last night to look for the ring Mother gave me. I think I lost it during the heist.
The sapphire one?
I give him a sad nod.
Oh dear, when did you notice it was missing?
When we were about to head to the police station. I've checked everywhere I could, around the museum floor, on the street outside. I even spent an hour combing through my hotel room, just in case I had actually left it there by some chance. But nothing came of it.
Oh, Inka. We can ask the officers from last night if they saw it anywhere, if you'd like.
That's the only thing I can do at this point. But I'm worried that I lost it on the rooftops, in which case it'll be impossible to find it again. Another sigh escapes me as I look to my uncle with worry. I haven't told Mother yet. And how could I? She bought that to celebrate me getting into the company years ago, and I went and lost it. I don't know what to do, Uncle. To my surprise, Uncle's worried expression changes to the bright smiling face he had at the beginning of our conversation.
Don't worry about a thing, Inka. I can help explain everything to her. If anything, she'll ignore the issue with the ring and try to fight that thief to Mr. Wilkinson herself.
Maybe it's best not to tell Mother in that case, considering how afraid Mr. Wilkinson is of you. Imagine how much more terrified he'd be of Mother. We laugh it off, and I feel my worries easing a little bit.
I'll talk to the officers from last night to see if anyone picked it up by chance. In the meantime, you and the others should enjoy your time here.
I'll try my best. Thank you for hearing me out, Uncle.
You're welcome. Now go get some coffee.
That was the plan. See you at practice later?
Of course.
Giving me a quick hug, Uncle heads further down the hall, presumably to the dressing rooms, so he can join in on practice. I, on the other hand, finally make my way to the lounge, where a half-empty carafe of coffee awaits me before I head back to practice. As the day continues, the lively energy the city had earlier changes to more somber, quieter tones. Whether it be returning home or relaxing at a bar, the evening brings a sense of calm to the surprisingly busy city. Many hours had already passed since practice, and a group of us, myself, Jacob, Natalia and Anya, decided to spend the evening trying a local restaurant. I'm lost in thought, staring at the drink in my hands, when I feel someone shaking my shoulder. Hey, Irina! Earth to Irina! Huh? What? What, that letter more interesting than Jacob's monologue?
Oh hey, come on now. She was listening, right, Irina?
I'm sorry, Jacob. What were you saying? My response makes his shoulders slump, and the rest of our table laugh in unison. As our group looks over the menu, deciding on what to order, Nat starts up another conversation topic to fill the air. We've only been here for a few days, and it's already been more interesting than the bigger cities. Interesting for who? I got nagged by so many cops the other night. If that rich guy tries to get us to do something for him again, I'll give him the bird and leave.
Amen.
Jacob and I nod together with Anya's remark, which causes Nat to burst out laughing. Guess I really was the only one who got a kick out of that whole situation. I guess I shouldn't be surprised you're the most done with all that, huh, Irina? What she says catches me off guard, but I feel my shoulders slump a little when I give her a confirming nod. It was a lot. I think I've had my share of rooftop running for the rest of my life. I'm still surprised nothing happened up there. No romantic moments, no fight between the thief and the detective, nothing. Nothing like those stories at all. Jacob pokes her cheek lightly with a smirk.
Romantic moments? This is Irina you're talking about, the last person who would have romance on their mind.
Right. Sorry, Irina. It's alright, no worries.
Okay, interesting.
In the middle of our chatting, a waitress walks up to us with a nod. Have you decided what you want to order yet?
Yeah, Nat, have you decided?
Natalia gives Jacob the most comical pout she can muster, complimented by sticking her tongue out at him. Sorry I take too long for you, sir. With an exaggerated huff, she opens up the menu and tells the waitress what she wants. Meanwhile, I take another sip of my latte, thinking to myself as I look out the window. I suppose I do admit, the city has been more fun than the others. After the waitress walks off, finally with all our orders jotted down, our little group continues to chat the evening away. Jumping from topic to topic until we finish eating and finally make our way back to the hotel for the night. No bar hopping? Okay. In the dead of night, I get woken up by my own tossing and turning. With the clock on the wall telling me it's 3 a.m., I sleepily sit up in bed with a yawn. Why am I awake? I quickly check my phone, thinking maybe an errant text or phone call was responsible. but all it does is briefly blind me as I stare at my empty notifications. I flop back down onto the pillow, hoping to force myself back to sleep. But I can't seem to get comfortable again, no matter how I lay down. I need to find a way to get tired enough again. Look around. Okay. The bed. On a whim, I try to lay back down, thinking I can force myself to fall asleep. But my attempt is fruitless, as my mind won't stop racing from being woken up so suddenly. This is going to be one of those fake it until you make it nights, huh? I'm glad I have this suit to myself, sweet to myself. I would have probably woken up everyone by now. Okay. Medication. While putting my phone away, I end up spotting the culprit behind my sudden awakening. Well, but I thought I took these. I suppose that answers why I woke up. With a sigh, I carefully put the medicine bottle into the dresser where it belongs. I've been forgetting to take those as of late. Didn't get a chance to read what was on them, but yeah. Maybe I should try to take them earlier, or maybe set an alarm. Either way, I guess tonight will be a long night too. Okay. Nothing to the right. A balcony. I lay down on my bed once again, staring up at the ceiling with a sigh. My mind is still racing, and any attempts to make it shut up for even just a bit are proven futile. In the corner of my vision, I see the city lights trickle in, looking so bright despite how late it is. I roll over onto my side to get a better look, and the sight of the lights glimmering oddly makes me feel calmer. Some fresh air might be nice. Won't that wake you up further? Oh well. Pulling myself out of bed, I slide my slippers on and make my way out onto the balcony. That looks like a huge balcony. Once outside, I'm greeted by a cool waft of May air and the lights below looking brighter than earlier. Countless speckles of light from the street lights and cars, and some from the dozen or so night owls still awake at this hour. Standing out among the sea of similar-looking buildings are the two larger ones that the city is known for. Off on one end is the theatre, looking just as lively now as it does in the day. And on the other side is the most notable one, the twin bell towers, the symmetrical shape complemented by the large clock face sitting in between them. It even has spotlights shining right on it, making sure you notice it at some point in the night. Even though we've been to so many cities already, there's always something unique about each one at night. As I continue to stare off into the distance, the cool air wafts by again, pulling me out of my daydreaming. Taking one last look at the scenery, I make my way back inside. Sitting back down onto the bed, I find myself at a loss on how to make myself sleepy again. After mulling it over, my eyes look over to the bathroom door. Maybe a quick trip to the bathroom would help? I'm out of options at this point, so it's worth a shot. I feel a little calmer afterwards, but still not tired enough to make up for the random awakening. While washing my hands, I just stare at myself in the mirror, thinking about how the rest of the night will pass. I wish I could just take my medication now, but then I'd probably sleep through my alarm. I've already done that once before, so I'd rather avoid that if possible. Giving my hands a thorough wash and dry, I head back to the main room, hoping that maybe now I can fall asleep quickly. Oh. Hello? Huh? I rub my eyes, thinking my lack of sleep is affecting my sight. But even after attempting to shake it off, what I see stays the same. A figure standing on my previously empty balcony. The light from the city shining brightly behind them makes it hard to see who they are, though their silhouette feels familiar. Against my better judgment, I quietly make my way to the balcony doors, hoping to take a peek at who it is. Hiding behind the curtains, I try to get a good look at who it could be. With the moonlight shining onto them, I finally recognize the silver suit and cape fluttering in the wind. Of all the people to see again, it's none other than that thief from the other night, Forget-me-not. What are they doing here of all places? They appear to be deep in thought, pacing back and forth while occasionally looking over the railing. I push open the door a tiny bit and hear them mumbling to themselves. That won't work. I'll get caught immediately. But what if... No, that won't work either. What if I left it at the counter? But someone might swipe it. Maybe I could try that, but I don't even know which room it is, and... I'm lost in a curious trance, watching them pace and mumble to themselves. But I'm quickly brought out of it as I lean a bit too much into the door. The balcony door lets out a loud and sudden creaking, which cuts through the silence like a knife. Caught off guard by it, they quickly turn to look at where it came from. What follows feels like an eternity of silence. The two of us just stare at each other, waiting for one of us to say something. It's finally broken, though, when the thief jumps back in surprise. Don't panic. I mean no harm, and I'll leave right away. Hey, wait a minute. They quickly switch from panicking to giving me a curious look. It's you, the one from the other night. Irina Lebedev, right? Yes, that's me. Wow, what luck. They quickly switch moods yet again, leaving me even more confused. But before I'm able to give another response, they hop over to where I'm standing. Sorry if this is out of the blue, but... They hold out their hand, giving me a cheery smile, signaling they want me to place mine on it. Still feeling a bit lost, I follow their lead, cautiously placing mine on top. They flip it so it's palm side up, then close it into a fist with their other. You didn't happen to lose this, did you? With a snap of their fingers, I suddenly feel something sitting in my fist and open it to find... my ring! I bring it up to my chest and clutch it tightly, unable to hide just how happy I am to see it again. I was scared I had lost it for good. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Although I also have to apologize. Up on the roof, when you almost fell off, I somehow managed to accidentally take it from you. Considering how it suddenly just showed up on me afterwards, I had a feeling it was yours. I look it over to see if there's any blemishes or marks, then slide it happily on my ring finger. You don't know how much this means to me. Thank you again. Although I'm confused, how did you know I was here? Well... They twiddle their thumbs for a brief moment before giving an answer. A friend who works here told me what floor all the dancers were on. Don't take that the wrong way, though. I only wanted to return the ring somehow. Wasn't expecting to end up on your balcony of all places on the first try. Sorry if I woke you up, by the way. No, you're fine. I've been up for a little while already. That's good at least. Although... They suddenly look at me with a confused yet curious gaze. After a short while of thinking to themselves, they finally speak up again. This is just like before. What is? Well, this. Normally, when you see some stranger on your balcony, you'd run, call security, or do both. And on the rooftops too. I ended up carrying you all the way out there without you even putting up much of a fight. Their honest observations make me feel a little embarrassed. But no matter how much I try to think of something to counter it, I come up empty and unable to disagree. Sorry if that was super blunt. I mean, it was. But you're not technically wrong. I can't help but laugh a little at myself and this whole scenario. You're not any different, though. Eh? If I were in your shoes, I would have ran the moment the door creaked. But instead, you're still here, and you even went out of your way to return my ring to me personally. That's pretty unusual as well, don't you think? They stare at me blankly, blinking every so often as they presumably try to think of some sort of rebuttal. But just like me, they burst out laughing from the realization. Can't deny that. We end up laughing together, making any awkwardness between us vanish in an instant. After letting it all out, they lean against the railing and look out onto the city. I follow suit, walking out into the night air as I turn to look at them. I do want to apologize for the other night, by the way. Grabbing you wasn't part of the plan originally. No worries. Somehow I could tell it was just as confusing for you. Yeah, I've never done something like that before. Even the cops were shocked. They were slower than usual. Well, except Detective O'Malley, but that's a given. Hope you didn't get pestered too much because of me. They love their lengthy interrogations. I let out another laugh. You're not wrong about that. It did drag on for a while. You seem pretty familiar with how they work. Well, I have been outsmarting those suits for over 3 years. Got to know how they think if you want to be one step ahead. 3 years? I stare out into the sea of buildings, the lights glimmering rhythmically as I think to myself for a bit before I turn back to them. I hope you don't mind me asking, but why a thief? Between the other night and the small trick you did now, you'd be better suited working as a normal magician, don't you think? My question makes them pause for a while, staring off into the distance while I think it over. After a moment of silence, they stand up straight, still leaning on the railing, and give me a soft smile. Have you ever heard of the first phantom thief from the city? I haven't, no. They were known as the Scarlet Rose. My papa told me the stories about them all the time when I was little. They were an amazing, charming thief that's become a part of our history by how much of a legacy they left behind. While not a magician, their heists are leagues above mine. When I got my first taste of that adrenaline rush, I immediately understood why they captured it. That thrill of going for bigger targets, being the center of all their attention, just being a normal magician felt too small. And seeing how everyone in the city still loves them and the heists they pulled decades later, it makes me want to read that as well. Leaving behind a legacy, one that's my own and no one else's. They pause for a moment after that thought, before continuing. I'm not even half of what they are just yet. But I know for a fact that I'll also be able to leave my mark in the same way once I'm done. Leave my mark, huh? Now I'm silent after their short monologue, the weight of their words affecting me deeply. As I gently glide my fingers over my ring, I think about my time with the ballet company up until now. I think I get it, at least a bit. That feeling of acknowledgement for the things you've done yourself and the work you put into it. I started dancing for a similar reason, though not to the extreme level that you're at with your heist. But I'm still nowhere near the level I want to be at. Really? I think you and the others are already amazing based on opening night. Well, that's just me. Oh, you were at the first show? They jump a little as their face flashes red for a brief moment before regaining their composure. Yeah, I was. You all did an amazing job. I can see now why your company has such a great reputation. But I think you were one of the best dancers on stage, in my personal opinion. Oh? The sudden compliment surprises me, and I feel my face getting brighter as I try to avert my gaze. There are better dancers than me in the company. You're surely just being nice. I'm being honest. The entire time while I was watching, I thought to myself, what is making the dancer stand out to me? Other than the fact that you're really pretty. And I finally realized, it's because of how strong you are. Of all the words I was expecting to come out of their mouth, strong was not one of them. I simply stare at them, unable to respond with anything. Strong? Sorry, was that a weird thing to say? No, I've just never been told that before. In what way? Well, in a few ways. The focus you have while you're dancing, being mindful of not only your fellow dancers, but also how the audience sees you. To how you compensate for your height, like trying not to stand out and such. And even just how you act towards other people, like me right now. I'd say that's all pretty fitting of the word strong, don't you think? My face only gets redder after hearing their explanation. Having it all laid out in front of me with such confidence, I can't accurately describe what I'm feeling right now. Pride over my hard work, embarrassment that someone so bluntly listed all the things I've criticized myself over. Whatever it is, it's a feeling I haven't felt about myself in a long time. Thank you. Huh? Did you say something? I couldn't hear you. I said thank you. That's the first time someone's really went that far into detail about that sort of thing. I'm not sure what to say right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to go so overboard. It just kinda all came out at once. But I do mean it though. We share another laugh, easing the awkward tension in the air between us. After which, I suddenly begin to feel how late it is as I let out a big yawn. I didn't even realize what time it was. Sorry I kept you up. It's alright. But Gently rolling my fingers over my ring, I try to say what's on my mind. Something about talking to you feels quite nice. If you ever would like to talk together like this again, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Oh. They pull down the brim of their hat a bit to try and hide their face, but I can still barely see a red blush lighting up their cheeks. That sounds nice. I'd be more than happy to come on over again. Just let me know when works for you, alright? I'll try not to show up unannounced again. Of course. Great. But until then... They turn around to face the railing, giving me a glance over their shoulder. Good night, Miss Lebedev. On cue, their cape changes into the form of a glider, which they use to glide gracefully down from the balcony. I watch them fly off into the distance, the moonlight glittering against them. How do they keep that hidden? I suppose I'll just have to ask them next time. Giving one last look out to the distance, I make my way inside so that I can finally fall back asleep. Okay, solved that ring thing quite quickly. That was cute. Yeah, that dynamic feels very nice. I don't know, I don't even know how to put it. Well, they have chemistry. Let's leave it as that, at that. And we'll leave the episode here for today. Quite cute, and we got some more insight on our second main character. Yeah, interesting that we get the different POVs. That's fun. That's fun. Yeah, but that's it from me for today. As always, I'd appreciate if you'd let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.